Good afternoon, welcome to Virtual Pool 4 Online. We're back for, well, we've actually got two matches at the same time scheduled tonight in the VP4 World Series of Pool 9 Ball Championship. We've got a winner's side match scheduled for a couple of minutes time between BillyBigRigger and Bedhead in the race to 18. We've also got a one-loss side match between Semi-Pro and Bankster, race to 15. To start at the top of the hour. The only problem we have, from what I can see, is we've only got Semi-Pro in one match and Bedhead in the other match, who are both present. The other players are not to be seen, so in that respect we could have a problem. It might be a short stream. Yeah, BillyBigRigger's certainly not been here. I haven't seen him in today, and I don't think I've seen Bankster either, so we may not be here long. It might be short and sweet, but they've got 10 minutes to get here once the rooms go up, so assuming one turns up, we'll watch that match. It was, I had intended to cover the Bedhead BillyBigRigger match and keep an eye on what was happening in the Semi-Pro match, but we might not be able to do either. Now, Bedhead, of course, best performance of the tournament so far by any player in his last match against Spectre Dawn. Extremely solid, hardly put a foot wrong, and clinical when he got a chance, which is a level you have to be aiming for if you're going to go any depth in this tournament. But by the look of it, we could have an issue, and the two rooms are up, and of course both players that are present are in. BillyBigRigger has turned up, which is good. He'll just be going straight in, and we will join that room. And we wait to see if Bankster's going to arrive. So the lag for break, race to 18, and alternate break, and no jump queues. Well, I hope he does as well. I mean, he's got no reason not to turn up unless something's cropped up. But then again, it'd be good for him to have maybe sent a message or something to say, something towards that, you know, along those lines. Good evening to Mal. Now, just a word of warning here. I'm expecting a phone call from a cop, believe it or not. It's nothing to do with me. It's actually regarding a car accident, or I should say a person trying to park a car in our car park at the work and subsequently hitting a parked vehicle in the process, namely the parked vehicle of one of my fellow colleagues. And I think the policeman wants to ask me just to confirm details and stuff, but he was supposed to be on duty 2 hours ago. I phoned to get a hold of him, they couldn't get a hold of him, so he may well phone me any minute, and if he does, I'll just bail and mute for a second until we get that dealt with, provided he does phone. Anyway, back to matters in hand. BillyBigRigger, well, he's got to be on his best game if he's going to give Bedhead a game here. He's a competent enough player, but over the distance to 18 is a big ask. But he could do with a good start, and there's no reason he can't take these out just right through and up the table for that 7 ball, as straight as you like on it. Now, this was a lady driving what turned out to be a BMW X3, which looks to, I mean, I know nothing about cars, but it looks like it's like a big 4x4 vehicle, and this wee woman driving it, and I'm sure she couldn't see the nose of the bonnet of the car, and she's turning in to the right, and she crunched the offside wing of the parked vehicle. One of the girls I work beside. Yeah, maybe something's cropped up for Bankster, which is unfortunate. So BillyBigRigger with this 9-ball for a good start. Good evening to Popman. Good evening to, or good afternoon to Bill. Welcome everybody. And BillyBigRigger won that rack on his break, which is most important. Bedhead's reply. Couple of balls in the break, 6 and 7 gone, shot in the 1. Now he's going to have to probably go 2 rails inside this 2-ball. Didn't want to put too much English on it, he could spin into the 2. He just avoided it. Semis actually should be playing at the moment, but Bankster's a no-show as far as we're aware. So Bankster has 5 minutes to get here, or the obvious will happen. Don't say that, Mal. Let's just clarify that. Semi-pro isn't Shooter's Pool Pro. No way is he. Plus the fact Semi-pro's got the video evidence on his YouTube channel. He went into a room when Shooter's Pool Pro was playing. Now this one is, I think he's fine. I think he can just squeeze through straight enough, but he's going to be ending up on the short side of the 5. Needs to go as far as he dare to make this as easy as possible. Now he may well, I don't know whether he can just tickle this in and stay on the 8 or go up the table. He might be able to just tweak it in. Well, when was Semi-Pro Duo commentating with you? I missed that one. I never seen that. You've got to let me see that video. Well, Bedhead went up table. I think it was too tight to try and just brush that 5 in, or whatever ball it was. I've forgotten already. But anyway, he's getting the job done. So we're all square. Oh, need to dig that out and have a look at it. So BillyBigRigger breaks off this time though. No ball. And he will be in trouble in a minute. Provided Bedhead can push the 1 through and it doesn't run into the 4. I think what he should be doing, he might just push the 1 down and come out behind the 5 and 9, or push the 1 through and leave the cue ball behind the... yeah, that's what he's done. He's just pushed it through and left it behind the 9 top side, and tight, which is always the order of the day. Pretty tight. Might just be the angle to get there though, looking at that. He might need to go a wee bit squarer. Yeah, well, he's just clipped it and no more. I thought he was just struggling for the line there. He's got the hit, and Bedhead has, well, he's got another obvious safety here. Push the 1 behind the 4 over to the side rail and bring the cue ball up to the 5 and 9 again if he gets the weight right. Could be going all out for the cut, but the 3 and 4 are not easy. Well, I think he's left it a wee bit short, has he? No, he's got there. Once again, the angle is there to get to this 1. Now, ideally, BillyBigRigger doesn't want to split up the 3 and 4 if he can help it. Like that. Or the 2 and 3, I should say, not the 3 and 4. 4's down the table. But that's opened up the 2 and 3. It was a tough cut, that one ball. However, as tough as this might be, BillyBigRigger's got a shot in the one, and he probably will just draw way up the table to try and give a sight on this 2-ball. Oh, he's running through, took a big risk there, and I think he's got lucky. That was extremely fortunate to get that little brush, but you'll take what you can get. Now, how's the angle here? Is he going to be brave enough to drop through for this 4? I think he should be fine, with the look of it. Now, the problems start. The 5-ball obviously doesn't go, so what he wants to do is try and bring, he wants to put a wee bit of inside right in this to try and bring the cue ball towards the 9 in that sort of line. Well, he's got that wrong, because he should have played it like that, but harder to come up the top side of the 9. What he should have been doing is trying to get to here, if I can get my lines to work, hang on, something like that to there. But that will do. The bank solves that issue. Now this is a good one to get out here. I say to any latecomers, if the mic suddenly mutes, I've got a phone call expected. I don't know whether it's going to happen or not, but I'm waiting on a phone call, so it doesn't look as if it's going to happen. So the 7 comfortably goes past the 9. Oh, this is a big test. I think he's got to go across the table twice here. Hit the long rail, hit the other long rail, back over to the other long rail to give him the widest angle to get to this 9. So it's a tough one. And that is as good as you could expect from there. The weight was pretty good, and he's got as good a line as you would want to be able to just run this 9 in. So a 2-1 lead, and it's going with the break at the moment. Oh well, Bedhead, the first mistake, and a scratch on the break, and look at the table. I mean, these are, well, I suppose the 6-ball's a bit of an issue where it's sitting. That's the problem ball. Well, he's not even going to go to there. He's looking at taking this 9 here with a combo. Big shot. Now he's maybe having second thoughts, yeah. Well, it's all going to hinge on the 6. Now, the good thing with where the 6 is where the 5 is. Now, regardless of how he ends up in this 5, he wants to get back over to here and shoot that 6 up, down the table. So that's probably the ball that's going to decide the rack. Although he's got to probably come over to the... Well, that's better, because the angle he has now is fine. He's not heading towards the 8 and 9. I was worried that he was going to finish low there and have to avoid the 8 and 9. So he may well go up the table again to the short rail in the top and back into the table. That's a sensible way to do it. Now, how straight is he? Well, he's got a slight angle. He can pinch a bit just to come over to the right side. I think he's kind of bottled out there a wee bit, I have to say. Well, he's from where he's left it, he's intended to play it in the middle. But I think I would have been a bit more generous with the weight of shot there. A little delicate one. But in it goes. Well, this is a... Well, he couldn't have asked for a better start, because it immediately is building the confidence on his own belief in his chance in this match. And he's going to have the first bit of daylight between himself and Bedhead. 3 racks to 1. Couldn't have asked for a better start. Perfect. And, well, that is... I never noticed that popping up. Let's have a look in the bracket. Ah, well, the good news is Bankster's turned up. The bad news is for Bankster that it's 3-0 to semi-pro already. So that's good. But Bankster might have been... he might have done better if he'd got himself in and warmed himself up. Well, there's the first miss from BillyBigRigger. And of course, as soon as that's happened, Bedhead with a wide open table. Let's have a quick look at this 7, see how it sits. Well, that's fine off the rail. So this should be costing BillyBigRigger his 2-rack lead. Oh dear. Oh, I thought that was going to go pear-shaped there for a second. Oh, he's just close to the rail. It just means he's going to have to run forward. He's avoided the 6. Now this is the one that can go funny, because he knows obviously he needs to get down here for this 7 ball. And that 9 ball is a hindrance where it's sitting. He certainly, I mean, you know, when Bedhead is going to leave the high cut, he doesn't want to be messing with that 9 ball. And of course Bedhead duly obliges. He's leaving a Bedhead cut in this 7 ball. We know it's off the rail. Good evening to WizKid. He needs to be mindful of the cue ball though, because that will be tracking up towards the pocket there, and I think that maybe what was playing in his mind. But Bedhead's chance has come and gone, and BillyBigRigger unexpectedly back at the table with a great opportunity to be 4-1 up. Oh dear, now, whatever you do, you want to hit that 100%. Now, the other shots he's played earlier in the match, why didn't he just thump that in, get up the table and back down for the 8 ball? You know, he got tentative there on that ball, and he didn't have to be. He could have easily let the cue ball run off the short rail on the bottom, short rail on the top, and back into the table. It was such an easy shot, and he tried to be clever. And that is a poor choice there from BillyBigRigger. He should have played the sensible one, let it run square up and down, safest shot of all. And if you've got that tentativeness in your shot, you're doomed to failure. It's the first notable error really by BillyBigRigger, and odds on certainty to be 4-1 up, and he's let that one away. And Bedhead with 8 ball in the break, delicate little combo, it hasn't gone, and straight away Billy can redeem himself. Now this is an easy shot, just to pot the 1 and leave yourself the angle to come in behind the 4. Oh, he's He's duffed that as well, and suddenly things are coming off the rail here in the space of 2 shots for BillyBigRigger. Now that's the type of shot there that I keep telling you in the commentary, that you have to go down to the pocket and look at the ball, because you don't want to be trying to pinch an angle, and if you do that you can go round in the angles and miss the ball completely, and he's made a complete hash of that. Good evening, Mark. Well, heaping praise in BillyBigRigger. I seem to have jinxed him after the good start he's had, because he's blown himself out the water there in 2 shots. And I think he started a bit nervy in his last match as well, the one against Bankster. And he's going to have to settle himself down again. I mean, certainly when you're setting 3-1 up, you're certainly not thinking about the finishing line at this stage in the match, but he needs to clear his head quick of those 2 duff shots that he's played. And he's going to have to do it all over again, because Bedhead is going to be all square here in a second or 2. Here Pig calls it 18-11. I would say that's a fair result if you go by the overall standard of both players. That's the sort of gap you would think. I'd be thinking more along 18-14, 18-15 if BillyBigRigger can get back on the rails here. Look at these balls. Every one of them is wide open, and Bedhead may well be pressuring himself into cutting this one. But the danger on that shot is the cue ball's running across the table. It's got to come across twice. So he's got to hit this with power, and if he doesn't come across twice, he'll be blocked out in the 2. So this is again, he's weighed up the pros and cons of it and decided against it. And not only that, he's nudged the 9 safe. And I don't think BillyBigRigger's got much more of an option here other than to try and cut the 1 onto the 2, but the 3 ball is pretty much dead where it's sitting, and it's not a combo with the 9, and he needs to get a sight in the 1, and he hasn't got that either. Well, Bedhead will be taking a big risk here. He may well try and draw off this 1. It's a thin cut, and he might try and draw off to just hit the 9 and 3, but he's then relying on luck as to whether he'll still have a shot. If he billiards into, well, he's not, he's playing safe. Again, he's not pushing the boat out. Now that 9 and 3, if we look at it, well, that is not dead set, but it can certainly be a combo. He's just nudged that into line almost. Well, Bedhead, I think, was pretty much at his best in his last match. He knew he had to be playing well against Spectre Dawn. And Spectre Dawn didn't play bad. That's the thing about that match. Spectre Dawn didn't play bad. Bedhead was just very, very solid, very good. Not flawless, but there wasn't many unforced errors. And it'll be asking a lot to play at that standard in this match. But there is a good kick safe. The stop shot with a spin killed the cue ball, and now, well, Bedhead's probably had a look at the 3 and the 9 to see how it lies if he ends up giving BillyBigRigger ball in hand, and he's wondering what to do here, whether to try and just play the deliberate foul and make it more difficult. I think that's what he's doing. Well, I'll be honest with you, that wasn't the shot I was thinking of, because if anything, all he's done has done nothing. It's exactly the same. Now, BillyBigRigger, I think, is looking to push to the 5 and go for 3 fouls here. Needs to keep it tight. It's strange that that Bedhead didn't, chip the 3 or chip the 9, just to move it closer to the 3 to make it first of all not a combo, and secondly to leave a problem for BillyBigRigger. And he didn't do it. It was strange. Bedhead's got the hit in the 1, and he's got it safe, because he's certainly not potting that 1 ball where it is. But why doesn't he give it a slam and try and nudge into that 3 and hopefully get the combo for his sake, because that's what I'd be doing. I'd be giving this a belt. You might as well. Everything else is wide open. Yeah, he's tried it. Oh, he's fluked to 6, but he's hooked. Just when he was thinking, oh, I've got a chance here with that fluke, then the next thing you know, he's ended up hooked. And what's more is the 3 and 9, of course, are now in play. Well, that'll do it. Now, Bedhead, if he's going to go for the bank, the line will go past the 4 ball. But he's not got a line where I think he can get the double bank. He's got to get this nailed. Yeah, you see what I mean? It was such a tight line to get past that 4, but he certainly wouldn't have if he'd got past the 4 and hit the bottom rail. He would not have double banked it. So, BillyBigRigger back at the table. Another tough shot. Very straight in the 1, and can only get to the top of the cue ball. So, just taking his medicine. And this, if he cuts this, what you do is overcut this so it comes along the bottom rail, and then you can run for cover up table. Because if he's going for the pot, he's got to go up and down the table again. Well, he's going all out and trying to hold it. And he's content to leave these tough cuts. Good evening to Spectre. And welcome to anybody else who's joined. That's a good shot as well. But he's running, he sees, everything's going out of shape here. Threatening to break down. And he's got to dig into this cue ball here as well, I think, to take evasive manoeuvres. It's a thinnish cut in the 5 ball, and now he's ended in the dreaded zone, the twilight zone as I call it. Exactly there where you don't want to be, but I think he's got to have a go at the bank, because this has got a good chance of doubling this. If it doesn't go this one, it will go that one. If he's going for the thin cut, it's all out. Well, he's gone for it clean. Oh, well, it's done everything but go in. But Bedhead, at the end of this visit, should be into the lead for the first time in the match. And BillyBigRigger, from 3-1 up, is going to go 4-3 behind. But don't forget those 2 duff shots that he played that cost him. Now that 9. Oh, well. I would not want to play this, because that is not playable, that 9 ball. He's just got to feather it and run for cover and take the risk of a bank, I think. Because this is actually very tight. Yeah, he's just running for cover, get the distance. He's leaving a possible bank on, but that's as good as anything for a safety. A danger of the double kiss here because it's a fairly straight line. Half the 9 ball. You see the double kiss has done him. Oh, where's the 9 going? Oh, well, there's another bonus for BillyBigRigger. And, well, things like that are sometimes what can give you an edge. The unexpected fluke. The double kiss had undone him. Bedhead played a good safety at distance, and wouldn't you know it, the double kiss worked in BillyBigRigger's favour. Meanwhile, Bedhead back with a break. The 6 and 7's gone. No shot in the 1. But gets it reasonably tight on the 8 ball. Not so tight that BillyBigRigger hasn't got room. He can just hit past that 4 ball. He should be concentrating on a good line here to try and kick that one in, because he's got the line to do it. He can straighten it up with a bit of right hand side. But anyway, the end result is he's played a good safety one way or another. I would always settle for that at distance. I mean, you know, players like Stubb and that are going to go for this. Bedhead's going to go for this. And it all hinges on this, because if he misses, BillyBigRigger could open this to 2. No, he's not doing it. I thought he might have been tempted. I very much thought he'd have been tempted there to go for that, considering where the 2 and 3 is and where the 4 and 5 are. They're all over pockets here. This is not a good bank either, because again it's too close to the rail. So just this negative safety. Now we'll soon find out who's got the better touch, because this is where that one mistake will cost you the rack. Now, did Bedhead get... He did. He got a feather edge of the 1 ball there. Well, this is difficult to find a decent safety. Well, he's hit the 9, and that 1 ball needs to slow up, and it hasn't. And that 4 ball being over the left middle pocket means either way there's a problem here for BillyBigRigger, because not BillyBigRigger, Bedhead, because when he pots this 2 and 3 and he gets on the 4, it's unlikely that he's going to be able to play this 5 without running into the 9. That's the problem. It's more than likely, though, that the 9 is going to go to the short rail in the bottom and back out into the table, or if he hits it thin enough, it's going to push along to the right. And I think, aware of that situation, he's left it as straight as he can, and he can avoid the 9. But he needs an angle in this 8 ball. Just a slight angle of any description. And that isn't it. But he doesn't have to do a lot. But he's got to have a good look at that cut in that 9. Because it's tight. And that is not the shot, I'm afraid. And that has all gone wrong. And it was all about the way he left himself in the 8 ball. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing that Bedhead ended up where he was and no angle to work with, and now he's probably put the cue ball in the worst place he could in the table. Well, that cut's never on. Not at that angle, I'm afraid it ain't on. Oh, it's just brushed the edge, and that's one that has got away big time there for Bedhead. I mean, the first thing we talked about, or I talked about, was where the 5 and 9 were sitting, and he did the right thing in getting himself straight on the 5 to avoid the 9. What he did wrong was ending up dead straight in the 8, and he had no room to manoeuvre. And I think he thought there was an imaginary angle there that he could use to draw back up with the 9, and in the end the cue ball ended up going straight. So that's a big error by Bedhead, positional error more than anything. So BillyBigRigger has profited from that mistake by Bedhead. The push out has been played, and BillyBigRigger blasts the 1 ball in. Well, there's no lack of confidence in that shot. The problem's this 2 ball. He might just be running for cover here again. Is he taking a risk? He's taking a risk running into the 3. Well, what does he do now? I mean, does he go for a bank and hopefully nudges the 9 in? Or does he push the 3 up the table and try and come over behind the 5? He has options. Well, I have to admit, I didn't think Bedhead would have had a problem either, because the most obvious problem would be ending up 2 straight in the 8 ball. So, well, he's gone. He went for the bank onto the 9 with the 3 ball. It hasn't worked out, and so Bedhead will be desperate to get a response in this rack after how the last one finished. Now, while we'll see this shot and then we'll go and have a quick look and see how things are going for Bankster. I hope they're going a bit better for him, but well, he's hung the 3. Quick look, and well, at the moment it's 9 racks to 3 for semi-pro, and remember that's a race, or is it 3? I need to get out my chair to look. Yes, it is. It's a race to 15 in that 1 loss side, so semi-pro is looking good to go through, and he's got to wait before he gets his next opponent. But Jose and Snake Eyes have to arrange their match, and then the winner of that match, who will probably be the favourite Snake Eyes, will play Spectre Dawn to see then who is more than likely going to play probably semi-pro. But that's a ways ahead yet. Meanwhile, BillyBigRigger's missed the 4. It's gone safe. Or has it? That might be a combo. Oh, it's dead set. Absolutely dead set on that. But Bedhead needs to thump the edge of this 4 ball very hard to get that 4 ball to try and stay in line. Anywhere forward with the 4, and it will probably just skim the 6 and cut the 6. Oh, he's got it nice. But where's the cue ball ending up? Not nice. And BillyBigRigger with a 2 rack lead. If Bedhead doesn't get a hit and get this safe, BillyBigRigger should be ready to pounce. Well, he's hit the 8 ball, and everything is there. Every ball is on. There is no excuse. Now, what's the line like? Well, this is just a dead weight drop. Just a hair's breadth drop in the 5. He's run through too far. You know, that's neither here nor there now. And the weight of shot there was too heavy, or not heavy enough, but he's left the cut and got it. How's the cue ball though? Because this is the start of problems when you start getting that line wrong. And he's got another one. And he's making it tough for himself. This is by no means easy, this shot. Oh well. Again, he's going to have to finish off with another one. I think he's fine as far as the scratch goes. He just needs to let the cue ball run through. And he should get this 9.5 times out of 10. But that's not going to do it because he sent it to the rail too soon. And commentator's curse has done it again. Way too soon to the rail there. And Bedhead's got out of jail. Back to within 1. Oh, the cue ball's gone again as well. And a couple of balls in break. And once again, look at the table. I mean, BillyBigRigger's failed on that last attempt. Now this one here's another one. Just get your head clear on how you're getting on this 2-ball. Now, you're not rolling the 1 ball across to just run through for the 2. That's not on. So he's got to think about an alternative way. Well, he could go 1 ball. He could go, if I can get my bloody thing to work, he could go that way, in there, and round here into that zone. And he's trying to drop through for it in the middle. He's got the pace. And it should be just again, just a roll through, gentle. Is he going to be able to do it this time? I mean, if he'd got that last rack and this rack, he could be, what, 5 in front? Or 4 in front? I'm losing track here. As this is a shot that's going to do it. And this is a bit dicey because, he can only see the top half of the cue ball. He's coming over left side, obviously. He's underhit that. That needed to be over more towards the rail. And the line on this 8 ball is not great either. If he hits it plain ball, he's in danger of scratching. Bottom left corner. And commentator's eye does it again. My little voice in my head was saying scratch, scratch. If it's plain ball, you had to take evasive action. And BillyBigRigger, well, he must have seen it. And in the blink of an eye, it's 5 racks all. So BillyBigRigger's had options to get away here and get good daylight between himself and Bedhead, and they're pretty much all gone. They've all been thrown away. A couple of silly mistakes that crept in, getting out of shape. Then that other rack cutting the 9 up table in the left rail and pushing it to the rail too soon. So there's errors that are causing major problems as far as the rack count goes, because they're all racks that should have been BillyBigRigger's. Absolutely no doubt about it. And he's had 2 goes at rectifying the situation with wide open tables, and he's failed to deliver, and these could be costly towards the end of the match. It will not be pleasant viewing for him if it turns out, well, the end result that I think most people think is Bedhead winning, but there's no reason for BillyBigRigger to lose any confidence. He just needs to get a rack. I think if he gets in and gets a run out, it might settle him again. And he's got the chance right now to do it. And sometimes, the more you think about a shot, the more likely you are to mess it up. You've got to get that flow of shot. You know, get that little rhythm. And this is the obvious one. It's off the rail, so you don't push it to the rail because it will catch that middle pocket jaw. It will nudge the knuckle. full focus on the pot and the 7. Nothing to do with the cue ball other than let it run across the table. Drop that 8 ball in and drop up the table for the 9. Well, this is a must rack for BillyBigRigger. These things can't be wasted. And again, he's trying to slam it in for no reason. The cue ball's ended up in bottom left-hand corner. It should never have been there. He should never have hit it that hard. You just concentrate and pot in the 7 and let the cue ball do its stuff. But far too heavy a shot. And he's lost the sensibility of the shot there. Common sense shot is just pot that 7. The cue ball's going in a trajectory that's going to leave you on the 8. And this is throwing racks away. It's throwing chances away big time. That's definitely 3, if not more, that have gone south because of these errant shots. And simple bad choice of shot execution there by BillyBigRigger. And Bedhead, for the second time, is into the lead. Quick look. Double figures now for semi-pro. Bankster's managed to pinch another one, but it's a long road back for him. And that was again, there's little evidences of just the touch not quite being under control fully here for BillyBigRigger. And the weight of shot, just a wee bit too heavy in those shots. But Bedhead's played a good one. It's just a matter of tweaking down that sensitivity slightly on your mouse to give you that better touch. Well, not a bad effort. Now here's the difference. And I'm probably putting the commentator's curse on this, but look at these balls. Bedhead's having a good look round, and he's about to show BillyBigRigger how to clear the table when you've got ball in hand. And he's going to kill this stone dead. And that angle is fine. Just drop through for the 4, but leave the angle on the 4 to get up the table for the 5. He mustn't go through and be dead straight in this 4. Well, certainly the last few visits by BillyBigRigger is at risk of demoralising him for the chances he's thrown away and wasted. And Bedhead's got the angle that I spoke about. Now he can, I'm pretty certain he can get up between the 8 and 9 and up the left hand side. If he goes too far, he's in danger of running behind the 6, so he's not going that far. He's going to leave it long. That would have been a danger if you let the cue ball run up the table, because the line it was taking was going up behind that 6 ball. And this is the one that will decide the rack. Now again, does he want to push through with maybe a bit of inside left and come down towards the 9? I think he's pretty straight. I don't think there's a lot he can do with this. I think he's putting inside on it. Or left hand side, as we say in snooker. Doesn't want an awful lot though. Well, he's leaving it on the high side. Again, Bedhead's favourite shot. Now, the line he's taken here would take him towards the 9 unless he does something with the cue ball again. Now, if he runs into the 9, he'll end up squaring the 8 ball. He's avoided all of that, played it well. And BillyBigRigger This is how, and this is a nice pace that you should be playing at as well, to make sure that you get the job done. Well, this is not a gimme, but it's the difference between the top players and all of the rest of us is the percentage of opportunities they'll get with an open table with nothing to cause an obstruction, and how many times that they will get that run out. It's a fairly high percentage, and that's probably the main difference there in the last few racks, especially, and how Bedhead done it and how BillyBigRigger failed on 3 or 4 occasions. And now it's a 2-rack lead for Bedhead. The double bank lying nicely on the 2, and this should allow him to stretch the lead. Another perfect lay of the table here. And Bedhead may well be just dialing himself in to build up a comfortable lead here. BillyBigRigger, Bedhead might be saying, you've had your chances, you haven't taken them, you should have had a good lead by now, and if you can't get the job done, then I'm going to show you how to do it. And this will be, well, provided Bedhead can get on the 7 in such a way that it's easy to get good on the 8, it should be 2 in a row for Bedhead. In terms of just running the table. He's just got himself close to that rail again, which just limits and what you can do with the cue ball. All about the pace, and again he's trying to come down the right side, and that sent the 7 offline. And BillyBigRigger, he needs to watch the scratch here, because it can either scratch in the right middle or the top right here, depending on what shot you play. He's got to get back across the table for this 8 ball, but it's a big risk. And he's not going through in the shot. Hung it in the jaws, and again it's a chance that has come and gone. Oh, these chances are mounting up here, and every single one of these chances BillyBigRigger's wasted is a rack. I've no doubt about it. They would have all counted his side. I mean, you could give BillyBigRigger another. I mean, let's be stingy here. You could give him another 4 racks, if not 5, onto his scoreboard at the moment. And this is painful for him to watch. Given that little light there, that little glimmer of hope, and it just gets snuffed out with that missing the 7. Oh, Bedhead. Well, that 3 ball is just encroaching into the line of the 1, but the 1 will go. Ball in the break. 4 ball has gone. I think the word that is probably most frequently used in sporting terminologies in that respect is clinical. You know, clinical finish in football. I'm talking about proper football, not that American girly stuff. You know, clinical. And that's what you'd say about the top players in virtual pool. You know, no messing about, getting that cue ball there and getting the job done. Oh, well, I've accustomed saying that. Well, this is just a wee bit awkward. I mean, everything about this shot is forward. Cue ball forward, let it run off the 6 and run far enough to come around the angles, and that was perfect. That's exactly how I'd have played it. If anything, it's a bit straight, I think, but there shouldn't be any problem there. But the lead at the moment is now 3 racks. The first time. And don't forget, BillyBigRigger was 4-1 up at the start. And it's now looking odds on for a 4-rack lead for Bedhead if he can get on the 9. Perfect. Two ball goes in. 5 ball goes in. And this 1 ball. Well, he's going to draw deep into it to draw onto the side rail and back across the table for the 3 into this bottom right. And he's trying to stun it in. Got on the 3. But he's missed a 1, and that 4-9 is pretty much set there. The 4-9 combo along that rail. Well, Bedhead's really hampered here. This is what makes it such a tough shot, is the fact that you're looking for an edge in this 1, or he's looking to bank the 1. And he's ended up too straight. Where's the cue ball going? Well, BillyBigRigger. The angle on this 1 ball is fine. You've got to get dug right into the cue ball and draw it right up that side. He's basically stunned it. He hasn't got the draw in it. He had to go right through that shot, and now he's left a huge cut in the 3. It needs to stay that side, and it needs to keep going. Well, that's better than nothing at all. But he has to have a good look at where this 4 ball's going towards the 9. He doesn't want to hit that right side of the 9. He has to hit on the left side for it to stay to the rail, and he's played it well. And that was so desperately needed, that rack. Bedhead breaks. 9 ball heading towards the bottom left hand corner, and in the end it's a comfortable result for Semi-Pro. He wins by 15 racks to 5. As I say, Bankster, I never saw him in the lobby today. Mind you, I haven't been around an awful lot today, but he may have done better if he had got himself warmed up with a few racks online. But Semi-Pro was always going to be the favourite. But it has turned out a comfortable result. This could end up being just a comfortable result for Bedhead as well. If BillyBigRigger can't shake himself down, this looks a good shot. That looks absolutely perfect. It just found a gap, and this could add to his confidence if he can get this one out. He's going to have to do a fair bit of travelling though. Look where the 4 is, up top right and the 3's down bottom left. And he's left himself not much of an angle, but all he wants to do is stun this and firm so he comes into the table somewhere here and he can see the 4 to cut it. He doesn't want to try miracle shots. Well, he's done it wrong. He's tried to come back when he should have stunned it and let the pace do the rest. The pace off the rail, as much as there was a slight angle, would have brought him into the table and he would have been able to see the 4. And that's not a good safety, I'm afraid. Again, that's always a worry if you're not fully 100% confident with your controlling the mouse. And shots like that are evidence of it. And being able to control the pace, but to be able to control the pace, you have to be confident in each stroke that you play. You don't get that if you don't have your mouse dialed in 100%. And I'm telling you, BillyBigRigger doesn't have that confidence in that shot, simply because he hasn't spent the time to really work on it, as most players don't, which is the major failing for most players in this game. Now Bedhead's gone square, big time. Oh, this is dodgy. But didn't blink. And BillyBigRigger has he's well into the zone where he needs help from Bedhead. And Bedhead now in double figures. He certainly likes the Bedhead cut, so he does. Oh, the lead is 4 racks. BillyBigRigger breaks off in rack number 17. The break is dry. No shot for Bedhead, but he can certainly just skim past that 3 ball with the cue ball and hide it. I seriously think he tried to cut that there. I think I never looked at it, but it must have been thin to get it past the 3 ball. And well, Bedhead should be in trouble here. The only thing BillyBigRigger needs to be careful of, if he's going to cut that 1 ball to there and run the cue ball, he has to avoid the 9. The line isn't great, so he's going the other way, and that's a better shot. The question is, Bedhead can't get the hit. The problem anyway is the 4 ball isn't on. Well, again, not a bad effort to hit that 1 ball. But he hasn't disturbed the 7 and the 4, so that's still a problem situation for BillyBigRigger, provided he gets that far. He's took the chance straight away. 2 ball was always down the rail, so he's drawn into them. I don't think he's actually helped himself a great deal, as a matter of fact. The 7 ball still blocking the 4 on that side. If you can get to the narrow side of the 4, it's obviously on. But where he is there is not the position you want to be trying to do that shot to get to the 4. This is very difficult. Oh, it's gone straight into the 5, and now this will add to the pain if he can't get this hit in the 4 and get lucky. Well, how it's going is that BillyBigRigger had a great start, and suddenly 2 or 3 errors popped in, nervous errors, careless errors, and I'm sure BillyBigRigger was 4-1 up, and he started making those errors and let Bedhead get a comfortable way back into the match, and then from there Bedhead has just showed he's basically done what BillyBigRigger's failed to do in too many occasions, and that is when he's had the chance at the table, he's not been able to run out. And at this stage in this tournament, you have to be good enough to join the dots. And another miss by BillyBigRigger that is going to cost him. Every mistake BillyBigRigger's made, I think they've pretty much all been punished. Bedhead's just come in and tidied up. Now he needs to just be a bit careful with this one. He's going to come back, but he just needs to watch the angle that he doesn't mess with that middle pocket. Well, you know, for a minute there it was up in the air, Semi, as to what match I was going to end up watching anyway, until the both of them eventually turned up. I thought we might have nothing. So Bedhead now is in the comfort zone of a 5-rack lead. And that just multiplies the pressure on BillyBigRigger in whatever chances he's getting, as to how he finds a way to make them good, either getting good safeties or getting some runouts when he's given that chance, if the chance comes along, that is. Well, this is crying out to cut that one to the right and to run into the gap between the 3 and 7 like that. Well, he's going to run into the 7, might brush the 7. If he had missed the 7, that would have had BillyBigRigger in a lot of trouble, but he can do the same to Bedhead. He needs to get this thin. So difficult at distance to pick that thin edge. So he's got that thicker than he probably wanted, but it's actually nice using the 3 ball. But even now, I'm worried for BillyBigRigger that he could end up with ball in hand. I'm worried that he'll overthink this if he does get the chance and muck it up again. Well, that's going to be ball in hand, because nothing's hit a rail after the hit on the object ball or the ball on, so he does have ball in hand. Is he going to be able to hold himself together to take this out? I'm going to bore you guys, but I've been keeping an eye on the Test match cricket and the India-England Test match, and I noticed that, I mean, India had a good start, and they get 300 and odd in their first innings, and I thought that would be a tough ask. And England must have scored well today, because they were in 300. They were only 50 odd runs behind the last time I seen. I need to watch all of these highlights after this match is finished, because it might have been a pretty good day at the cricket, but I know you're getting bored and you're not interested in test match cricket like I am, so I won't bore you any further. But it's probably worth watching. But you have to be a connoisseur of the cricket to enjoy it and understand it, especially a 5-day test match. I suppose the Americans could probably say the same thing about baseball in terms of what the bowlers, the pitcher's trying to do with the ball, whether he's doing a slider or whatever. Well, it's the same in test match cricket as well. And BillyBigRigger, in the meantime, still at the table, round behind the 9 ball, out into the table left side, and all the room in the world for a straight in 9. And well, I suppose a big target for BillyBigRigger would be to get to double figures. He's only 3 away and he's got the break, trailing by 11 racks to 7. Oh, there's the phone, hang on a minute. Right, I'm back, guys. Apologies for that, but that was, as I say, that was a phone call I was expecting. The police officer wanted me to give a statement on that collision in the car park that I witnessed. Anyway, well, BillyBigRigger has almost got to double figures. Bedhead, though, is only 2 away. Yeah, here, pig. Yeah, I think you're going to be as close as anybody to it. Oh, welcome to Cheeky Chico. I never saw you there. Yeah, I was expecting this phone call all day, or as soon as the guy came on duty at 4 o'clock this afternoon, British summertime, and he was taking details for an accident I witnessed last Monday, where a lady was coming into the car park at the work, and when she turned into the right, she collided with what turned out to be one of my colleagues' cars, and didn't give the correct details, or didn't give proper details when she reported the accident in the store, and the police are going to charge her. She's banged to rights, let's be honest. Her insurance will claim liability for it, because there's no reason to even doubt that or debate it. So BillyBigRigger should be at double figures here. Well, it's what happens in a lot of these big supermarket car parks. Some idiot person trying to squeeze into a tight spot with a big 4x4, particularly a woman of a certain stature and height who's sitting in a car and trying to peer over a big bonnet to actually see how far the nose of the car's close to the neighbouring car, and she misjudged it big time and hit the member of staff's car. And then when she left a note with her details, her phone number was wrong, and I think the registration of her vehicle was wrong. But in the time it took her to go into the store, I got out my car, because I was at my morning break. I was having my sandwiches in the car. I got out my car and took a photograph of her car with the number plate, in case there was any comeback, and there has been comeback. So she can't debate the situation. Bedhead, well, again, it's the most obvious thing. He should be out. There's no problem here. He's just got to try and leave himself nice on this 6 ball. But once again, he's gone inside the 5, which has got him in a different line that he really wants. Now he's got to decide whether he just wants to roll through, leave this as straight as he can into the top left. I don't know whether he's going to try and drag it and hold it. No, he's having to spin it round. You see how the margins are quite fine, and how easily it is to get to the next ball, or how difficult it is. He's managed to recover it. I could also tell you another story about a work colleague that I've worked with for 6 years. I told it to Tornado Tam, and I haven't told it to anybody else, because I simply don't want to. I only told it to him because we were in a room together. I certainly don't want to tell anybody on the stream. But let's just say it was disgusting, and let's just say it was disgusting, and they haven't gone to jail because they were up in court on Friday the 13th, unlucky for some. And let's just say it involved pornography of a certain persuasion, and what was on his computer and what the police found. And what I would say to anybody is the most obvious thing: if ever you're searching on the internet and you think that you can search for whatever you want on the internet and there's not going to be suspicions, this person, who I won't name, was searching on the internet, and it's not made known to the public, but it's quite clearly obvious that authorities are well aware of dodgy stuff that's going on in the internet, and internet service providers will certainly be aware to flag up instances where certain dodgy stuff is going on and notify the proper authorities. And this looks like what's basically happened, because the police raided said person's house. And bear in mind again, this is somebody that I've worked with every day for about the last 6 years or so, and for the last 6 years or so, this person has been downloading stuff on their computer, making web searches on their computer for rather disturbing stuff that a proper pervert would be looking for. And that's all I'll say. The rest of it, you can make up your minds what it is. But the police raided the house, took away 2 computers, found X amount of images, and we're not talking about elderly age groups here either. And not only images, but videos. And that was last October, when they told the manager of our department that they were off sick, but in actual fact they'd been arrested. And about 2 weeks ago, they were off sick again, but they were actually in jail. And Bedhead has completed the deal. He's gone through 18 racks to 10. BillyBigRigger got his 10 racks, but he should have had another 6 racks on top of that. And let's be fair, he should have had at least another 6 racks on top of that. But it's all self-inflicted damage, I'm afraid. So we'll have a quick look at the bracket. Bedhead merely done what he had to do, being too strong and too efficient at the end of the day compared to BillyBigRigger. That's what won him through. If we look at the bracket now, we can see Semi-Pro in that one loss side is now through, and he's got to wait before he's going to have a game. He's got until August the 25th, but there's other matches to be played before that. If we look across at the winner's side, we will see, we'll start from the bottom. Bedhead is now through to round 5, and oh, this bloody thing, hang on a minute. Bedhead's through to round 5, and if we move up the bracket, if I can get there with this mouse, we've got Bedhead waiting on the winner of the match between Albinario and Mal, which is tomorrow night at 7 PM. So be there. I'll be there, and that'll be the race to 18 to see who is going to play Bedhead. And we've got, good matches coming up. You can't miss them. If you do miss them, they will be on my YouTube channel. They'll always be there. You can always go and watch them. So a big match tomorrow night between probably the 2 strongest players in the tournament, and something's got to give. The question is who's going to blink first. So we'll wait to see that. I don't think there's anything else changed in the bracket, just what we had tonight. So that'll do it, folks. Thank you for your company. Sorry about the delay there. I had to make that statement. And I hope you can join us tomorrow night. So until then, thank you for your company. Do stay safe, take care, and I will see you again soon, no doubt. I'll bid you good night, and thanks for watching.